Okay, so I'm just about ready to get started with laying this out, and I want this to be quite a big round pile. So I'm going to do it 2 rows deep, two rows of wood deep, and then a center area that's about 2 feet. The ones that I've done previously were just 1 row of wood with a center area where you put in the vertical logs in the center area, and that's what I've done in the past, is just 1 row. But I've got over 2 cords that I've got to split. So I'm splitting it, and then my wife is bringing it over, and then I'm going to start this two rows circular, and then the hollow in the middle for the upright, the vertical pieces. And then I'll as I split, I'll bring it over and start and keep building. And I'm thinking that this is going to be quite a big pile. I'd like to get it all in this pile. I like these round piles. They seem to season the wood well, and they look pretty cool. And of course, the chipmunks and squirrels and everything else and snakes like to go in there. But this wood has to have at least a year, maybe 2. It's all oak that was cut down this year. So I'd like to probably have it seasoned for 2 years. Some of it's probably going to be good in 1. But anyway, I like these piles because they're great for seasoning it, and they kind of, sometimes I put a little something on the top, but they're pretty much, if they're built right, you really don't even have to worry about covering them, and the wood stays good. So I'll get started laying this out, and I'll show you guys how the base goes. So this is how I'm getting it laid out, guys. I put 2 logs in each direction, just to kind of give me how big I want the circle to be, so that those 2 logs will represent the 2 rows of wood, and the center is going to be where I have the vertical logs that go in the center. And so I'm going to now, these 2 here represent the circle I'm going to make. I'm going to move those 2 logs and make a circle that goes all the way around, and that way I can start building the base. So you make a circle with these logs on the outside here, because you need to have all the logs tipping in towards the center, and that carries on throughout the whole build. You always need to keep the logs leaning in, so you have to have logs this way to keep the logs leaning in, and I'll show you as we go. Okay guys, so I've got the first row laid out, and then I've got the inner ring for the second row started. I'm not sure how good I did at sizing my circle and stuff, but I'm going to lay that second row in there, and we'll take a look. Okay guys, so there's where I am right now. I've got my 2 rows started, and in the middle I just put some pieces across the bottom, because the pieces in the middle go vertical, but I just didn't want them to be sitting on the ground, so I just put some of the extra long pieces or short pieces in there. Now, like I said, I've never done one 2 rows deep, so this one could be a little tricky building. I'm going to start with building the inner row for a little bit, and then I'll go up a couple rows, and then I'll do the outer row, and I think that's the way I'm going to approach it, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. So one thing I wanted to point out, guys, is that you have to keep both rows leaning in, and the way you do that is by putting pieces in horizontally that hold up the outer side, so that you have that pitch, and you only put them in when you start to get level, or like this one is starting to tip towards me, so we want to definitely get this one. We don't want that one like that. We want to keep them. I built them, several of these before, like 4 of them. And the first ones, I think one of them fell down after a year, but the other ones stayed up very well after I learned more about doing them. And it's very important that they almost all lean in. They can't. They could be, once in a while you can have a couple level ones, but you don't want any like this that are leaning down towards the outside of the pile. You want them all leaning in a little. So you have to, put in these little pieces that you can find, or you can use, see, you can see how I did it on the outside row. And there'll be more examples as we go along. You'll see them tucked in here and there. I find the short pieces handy, which I usually end up having some, you know, because I cut this myself, so I had a lot of extra little end pieces. But you know, if not, you can either cut some, or you can sometimes put a piece the other way, or put a little one in. But you'll see different ways I do it as we go. Okay guys, so I wanted to give you a close-up. I worked on this a lot yesterday, and my friend came and helped me split some wood, and so I just wanted to, you could see where I put in my horizontal pieces. Those are to keep everything leaning in. And the way I've been going at it is that I build the inner layer, and then I build the outer layer, and when it gets up about 2 feet high or so, then I fill in the middle with upright pieces. As you can see, it's getting a little smaller now in the middle. It was bigger at the bottom. But anyway, I'm going to probably go up like a couple feet more, maybe a foot more, and then start putting the dome part on there, because it's already chest high for me now. So if I go too much higher, I'm going to have to be on a ladder to finish off the top, and I don't want to do that if I don't have to. But yeah, I think it's coming along pretty nice. It's got a nice shape. It's the walls slightly go in, so it's going to be kind of like it's going to kind of look like a pine cone. So yeah, so I'll go up probably about another foot, and then I'll start rounding it up. So I'm going to use the upright for the upright pieces. I'm going to try to use up all the ones that are not split in the middle, upright. And I may have to get up there. I'll probably have to get up there and do that. So I'm going to put a bunch up there. And I want to use the unsplit ones, because the split ones are better for making the roof. So I'll put a bunch up there. I may have to use some split ones too. If I do, I'll use the ones without any bark on them if I can. So because this is too wide for me to actually, work on from down here, I'll put them up, and then I'll get up on there, and I'll stack them up. And then once I get them, stacked up in the middle, I can probably work from here to do some of the other stuff. And I have a little bit more wood over there that I can split too. And then actually I may bring some of that over. I'll see how it looks once I get these upright and get some stuff leaning on them. So I got my ladder leaning on the backside over here, and so now's the only time that you start leaning them the opposite way. Instead of leaning in towards the middle, you're going to start leaning out towards the side. And these, you know, these don't have to all be exactly the same height at the top or anything. I'm just trying to get them all standing up here in the middle. It's good if they're, you know, if they are more level, that's great. But if they don't want to be, we just deal with whatever we get, you know. So basically, I'm just kind of leaning them against each other like that. So that hopefully they'll stand up until I get some things leaning against them. And I also want to put some stuff on top of this, top of all this. Let me see if they're going to stand. I made the mistake of leaning them all against my leg, and now when I want to move my leg, they're all going to fall. But I think I can sneak this over here. This is a heavy piece, so maybe this will keep them. Or maybe this one, this bad boy here. So basically, you just do what you got to do to get that middle part standing. That's how I did it before, and it worked pretty well. And then up here you can put some little pieces going across or whatever. You want to make like a nice little platform here so that you could put a couple of flat pieces on top, you know, with the bark up, so you can make a nice little platform there. So I'm going to get down now, and then I'll get a few more pieces that I think will be good for filling in up here. And then, you know, from there I'll probably just speed it up because you guys know what I'm doing now. So there it is. I forget what they call it in German, Holz Hausen or something like that. But anyway, it's the round wood pile, and if you guys haven't done this, this is great for seasoning your wood. And you know, I see all kinds of chipmunks in the summertime. There's snakes living in there, and but it does great at seasoning your wood. I'm about out of wood now. If I had some more pieces, you know, I'd cut, you know, I'd split them with the bark side out, and I'd keep going and try to fill in all the gaps and, you know, cover this up really well. But since I'm out of wood, what I'm going to do is just fold up a tarp so it just covers this top part, and I'll take a few of these off, and then I'll weight the tarp down with them, and that'll work fine too. But even if I just left it as is, I'm still confident that it would be okay and it would dry the wood out. But I would like to get some more of these gaps covered with some more pieces, you know, if I was going to leave it without the tarp. But as long as you got the top covered, either with wood, you know, barked wood, or you get a tarp, you only have to cover the top. And they even sell round top covers, but it's just easier and cheaper for me to just buy an inexpensive tarp, and then where the corners come out, I just tuck them under and put a log there, and that works just fine. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll give it a try. Just keep them all leaning in till you get to the top where you're going to dome up, and you'll be fine. And remember, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Do I dare? I want to stand on top of this thing for you guys. There we are. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's the wood pile with me on top. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.